Hey, family. I'm sure you heard this quite a few times. Matthew 7, verse 1, judge not, lest ye be judged. And I'm sure you also heard, he who without sin cast the first stone. That's in John. That's John 8, verse 7. And sometimes when I hear that applied to certain situations, some people use that as a rebuttal to maybe you calling someone out. It always irked me because I felt like it wasn't really being used properly, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Well, fortunately, I was led to read Kings for a whole unrelated reason. And I was in First Kings and I got up to chapter 3 where the revelation came. So up until that chapter, people feared King Solomon because he was a king. He has the ability to judge people. He had the authority to do so, to determine who lives and who dies based on who was presented before him. And the Lord favored him. The Lord loved him. He had a wonderful relationship with the Lord despite the ability to put people to death. He could straight up say, off with your head, and the Lord still loved him. One day, King Solomon fell asleep and he had a dream, and the Lord presented himself to him. I'm paraphrasing now, okay? So the Lord let him know, hey, make your request. What would you like from me? And King Solomon said, I want the ability to discern and to judge people, the good from the bad. I want the ability to do that correctly. And the Lord was so delighted by his request. He said, you know what? You did not ask me to seek vengeance upon your enemies. You did not ask me for increased wealth and riches. You did not ask me for longevity. You asked me for the ability to discern, to cast judgment upon people, to know the difference of who's good and who's bad. I am so delighted by that I will make you the best at it. No king before you, nor any king after you will have that great of an ability. That's what I'm going to bless you with. In addition to that, I am so delighted that you asked me for the ability to judge people, that I am going to bless you with longevity. I'm going to increase your wealth as long as you continue to keep my statutes and commandments. So that says in itself this: you absolutely can judge people. Can you imagine if we didn't? We already are suffering, a lot of us are suffering because we did not properly discern or judge. And we let people in our lives that we should not have let in. So can you imagine if we just went by those other scriptures that people throw in our face a lot if we call someone out? Oh my goodness, our life would be a mess. There are people who are not alive today because they did not judge. So I believe the issue is that we have to seek God first before we do it. So back to the scripture relating to the woman who was caught in the act committing adultery, and she was pulled out and taken to the street, and they were going to stone her to death. When Jesus then said, he who without sin cast the first stone, and no one cast the stone because they all had sinned, I believe that the Lord was able to see something that others were not able to see. And if you really take a step back and really look at your life, look at what you might have been guilty of, look at what your loved ones might have been guilty of, what was your frame of mind, what was their frame of mind when they committed the act, the offensive act? See, I don't want to trigger anybody, but let's take the adulteress for an example. We know, looking at the world we live in today, this behavior isn't brand new. People always have been corrupt and demonically influenced. So we don't know if that adulteress might have been forced into it. We don't know if she might have been violated at a younger age, and we are dealing with more than flesh and blood, okay? So her predator could have been riddled with demons, and that got transferred to her during that horrific exchange, that encounter. So we don't know that, but the Lord knows that. And that's why I believe that we're not to judge without seeking him first, because he will let us know, look, this person has a good heart. They dealt with some things in their past that they're still battling, but their heart is pure, forgive them, versus, this person is corrupt, stay far away from them. They will never change. Their heart is just kaput. So I believe that's what the issue is. I also noticed that some people who hold on to those two scriptures about not judging, they're out there doing the most. Okay, they're out there wreaking havoc on people's lives, and because they know you're a Christian and you call them out on that, they would like to take scriptures and shame you. Like, well, you're not supposed to judge. You're a Christian. The Bible says, da 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 da, and then try to shut you up. So if they come at you again in the future with that, let them know, if you're not supposed to judge, why was the Lord so delighted that King Solomon asked for that ability? Again, that's in 1 Kings chapter 3. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here because, unfortunately, due to social media, humans now have the attention span of a goldfish. So I'm gonna go. I might pop back in with another little revelation. All right, talk to you later. Have a blessed day.